Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into a book that offers a really fresh perspective on something ancient.
Yeah, Buddhism Plain and Simple by Steve Hagen.
Exactly. And it comes highly recommended. Robert Percy, from Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
He called it the clearest and most precise exposition of Buddhism I've ever read.
Wow, okay. High praise.
So definitely something worth exploring.
And what strikes me right away is how Hogan starts by clearing the decks. Sort of.
How so?
He says, look, this isn't really about historical religion, not about speculating on beginnings or ends. It's about shifting focus away from, abstract ideas and right into our immediate direct experience, what he just calls truth itself.
That's a big shift. So less focus on the story, more on the middle.
Yeah, a religion of middles. That's his phrase. It's less about believing something and more about, seeing something.
So our mission today, really, is to unpack what Hogan means by being awake and how that simple awareness, that shift, can actually change how you experience your life. Like right now.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let's dive in.
The perennial problem, why are we so unsettled?
So Hagen kicks things off by addressing something we probably all feel, right? This nagging sense of unease.
Yeah, like something's not quite right.
He calls it being imprisoned by our ignorance. That feeling of wanting freedom from, confusion, discontent, fear.
It's a fundamental human thing, isn't it? And he asks, okay, why do we feel this way?
And his answer?
A big part of it is mortality. Knowing that, even if you get everything you want.
It's all temporary.
Exactly. Death takes it all away. And that certainty, that knowledge of loss, leaves us kind of stumped. Makes it hard to find real peace.
It definitely makes you think of the story of the Buddha, Gautama.
Right. The palace, shielded from everything unpleasant.
Yeah, shielded from suffering, sickness, death. But then he sees it.
And it just shatters his whole worldview.
He sees all the power, the wealth, as just. Well, Hagen calls it a veneer.
A veneer covering up this basic sorrow in life.
Which prompts him to leave it all behind, to find something deeper.
And Hagen connects that ancient quest directly to our lives now. He uses this great analogy of a wheel out of kilter. Like riding in a cart with a wobbly wheel.
Oh, that constant annoying bumpiness.
Exactly. It's distracting, disturbing. He says our lives, when we're out of kilter, create that same kind of constant hardship, that feeling that things are just off.
And he breaks this feeling down, this dukkha, or suffering. There are three types.
That's right. The first one is pretty straightforward.
Just pain.
Physical pain, mental pain, stuff that just happens. It's unavoidable.
Okay. But what happens when we try to avoid it? Which is usually our first instinct.
Well, that often makes it worse, doesn't it? Like the person putting off the dentist.
Oh, yeah. The small ache becomes a huge problem.
Exactly. Our attempt to limit the pain actually increases the suffering in the long run. Our resistance adds another layer.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, the second form of dukkha, this one really got me thinking. It's change.
Ah, yes. Impermanence. Everything's always in flux.
Our bodies, our thoughts, relationships, that beautiful rose on the table.
Yeah.
It all changes, fades, dies.
We fight it constantly, don't we? We try to fix things in their places.
Or, rearrange the world to stop bad things from happening, prevent accidents, prevent death.
But Hogan points out it's futile. You can't stop change.
And paradoxically, he says vitality is this impermanence. Life is change.
Right. Resisting it is resisting life itself.
Okay, and the third form?
That's the deep stuff, the existential unease.
Why am I here?
What happens when I die? Those big questions. And Hogan says trying to figure out the answers intellectually, that doesn't lead to satisfaction.
You can't think your way out of it.
Pretty much. The answers aren't concepts.
So boiling it all down, what's the core issue, according to Hogan?
It really comes down to three kinds of craving. Craving sensory pleasure. Craving for things not to end, not to die. And craving for things to just stop changing, to stay the same.
So our fundamental problem is this ignorance, this not seeing things clearly, and this constant grasping.
Exactly. We're ignorant of our need to just be awake to reality as it is. Instead, we try to fix things by, acquiring and blocking out.
Like thinking money or fame will solve the deep unease.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Hagar the Horrible comic.
Yeah.
He chooses power over gold because with power, I could get the gold and then I'd be happy.
We laugh, but
we kind of do the same thing, right? Chase the power or the money or the relationship, thinking that will finally bring happiness.
Instead of just seeing the craving itself.
Right. Hagen says the challenge isn't to squash the craving, because trying to suppress it just creates more craving. It's just to see it, to be aware of it.
The way to wake up the Eightfold Path to being present.
Okay, so if the problem is this deep confusion, this constant craving, what's the way out? What's the solution Hagen offers?
He calls it a journey into now.
A journey into now. Okay, not going somewhere else.
Nope. Not physically going somewhere, not even going inward to find some special self. It's about waking up right here.
Right now, being fully present.
Yeah. And this journey, he says, involves 3 key realizations.
Okay, what are they?
First, truly seeing that life is fleeting, really getting that impermanence deep down.
Okay.
Second, understanding that you are already complete, whole. You don't lack anything fundamental.
That's a big one. We usually feel like we need something more.
Right. And third, seeing that you are your own refuge. You don't need to rely on something external to save you or give you the answers.
So it's all about attending to your actual direct experience in this moment.
Exactly. Not abstract ideas. And the map for this is the Eightfold Path.
Right, the classic Buddhist teaching. But Hagen presents it as basically steps to waking up.
Yeah, practical steps. Let's start with the first one. Right view.
Okay, right view. What does that mean in this context?
It's about seeing things as they are. Not how you believe they are or wish they were or fear they are, just as they are.
He gives that example of the mysterious figure image, right?
Yeah, the ink blots. At first you just see random shapes.
Until suddenly, bam, you see the hidden picture, like the cow.
And once you see it, you know it. There's this aha moment, certainty.
And Hagen says that kind of clear seeing, that awakening, is available to us all the time.
Every moment. It's about shifting perception from confusion to clarity.
And the key difference is between just believing something and actually seeing it for yourself. Right view is about seeing the whole picture, not picking sides, not separating things artificially.
Like his example of the puma and the deer.
Exactly. Not just seeing the poor deer and the bad puma, but seeing them as part of one seamless natural process. Interdependence.
Okay, so after right view comes right intention. What's that about?
It sounds simple, but it's deep. It's simply the intention to wake up.
Not the intention to achieve a result like, I intend to be happy. No, it's not about intending to bring about a specific outcome later. It's about the intention behind your engagement right now. The intention to be aware, to be present.
Okay. How does that connect to, say, how we speak? That leads to right speech, right?
It does. And right speech here is more nuanced than just don't lie or don't be mean.
Okay.
Hagen uses that challenging example. What if you're asked by the Gestapo if you're hiding someone?
Right. Telling the literal truth would be harmful.
Exactly. In that specific situation, lying might actually be the most compassionate, the rightest speech. It's about seeing the actual situation clearly, understanding your own mind, and acting from that holistic view, not just rigidly following a rule.
That requires real presence of mind.
He does.
And he also mentioned something about right speech. Bunyanizing teachers. What's that?
Yeah, it's his term for putting teachers, gurus, even the Buddha, on this impossibly high pedestal, idealizing them.
We do that, don't we?
We do. But Hagen says it's dangerous. It stops us from seeing them as human, and it prevents us from really learning from their experience.
So how should we honor a teacher then?
Simply learn what they teach. Test it out in your own life. See if it works for you, and live gratefully for the guidance. Keep it real.
Okay. So that flows into right action, acting from
an unfettered mind, a mind that isn't caught up in wanting things to be different or clinging to ideas.
He uses that beautiful image of the maple leaf.
Yeah, just falling naturally from the tree. That's unwilled action, right action.
As opposed to a leaf that, like, decides now's the time to fall or stubbornly clings on.
Exactly. It's about acting from that place of seeing the whole, responding naturally to the situation, not trying to force a specific outcome based on our limited ideas.
Makes sense. Then there's right livelihood, how we make a living.
Right. Earning your living in a way that doesn't cause harm to yourself or others.
Does he give a list of jobs? Good jobs versus bad jobs?
No, thankfully. It's not prescriptive like that. But he does give clear examples of what's not right livelihood.
Like?
Trafficking in weapons, drugs, people, writing propaganda for oppressive regimes, things that clearly cause suffering and entanglement.
So it's more about examining your own work, asking yourself, does this cause harm? Does it create suffering? Or does it support harmony, peace of mind?
Exactly. It's a personal inquiry.
Okay, moving on. Right effort. This sounds like trying really hard.
Yeah, but it's actually the opposite. It's not about straining or struggling to get enlightened or control your thoughts.
So what is it then?
It's simply about being present with whatever's happening,
Including the messy thoughts.
especially the messy thoughts. He uses that funny example. Try not thinking of an elephant.
Haha, impossible. The harder you try not to, the more you think about it.
Exactly. So red effort isn't about pushing thoughts away. It's about just observing your mind, observing the fragmentation, the distraction, without fighting it, just being aware.
Which leads perfectly into right mindfulness.
Yes. Conscious engagement with each moment. Paying attention.
Like that story of the jogger with headphones.
Yeah, completely oblivious to this huge flock of geese flying right overhead because she was tuned out.
We do that all the time, don't we? Tune out the world, tune out ourselves.
They do. Mindfulness is about tuning back in, noticing sensations, feelings, thoughts, but without judging them.
Just noticing and seeing that they come and go.
They're transitory, like clouds. You don't have to grab onto them and push them away.
Okay. And finally, the eighth path.
Right.
Meditation or zazen.
Right. And again, it's not about achieving some blissful state or having no thoughts.
It sounds like it's similar to right effort and mindfulness.
It is. It's the practice of staying with your immediate experience, moment by moment. You sit, maybe use your breath as an anchor.
I mean, just watch.
Watch thoughts arise. Watch feelings arise. Watch them pass away. Let them go without clinging. The key, Hagen emphasizes, is regularity, like eating or sleeping. Doing it consistently matters more than doing it for hours at a time.
Free mind seeing reality as it is.
So we follow this eightfold path, right view, right intention, all the way to right meditation. What's the result? Where does it lead?
It leads to what Hagen calls a free mind.
A free mind. Okay. What does that mean?
Well, he talks about two kinds of knowledge. There's the usual kind, intellectual knowledge. Concepts, beliefs, opinions, ideas.
The stuff we think about.
Right. And that kind, he says, often leads to more fear and confusion because it's just ideas about reality, not reality itself.
And the other kind of knowledge.
That's true knowing, direct experience.
Yeah.
Seeing something so clearly that it's beyond doubt. It's not a thought about it. It is the seeing itself.
Okay. But if we already know truth directly at some level,
Yeah.
why are we generally so confused? Why do we suffer?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Hagen says we habitually overlay our direct experience of truth with thoughts.
So we cover up the direct knowing with ideas and beliefs.
Exactly. We get caught by our concepts and mistake the concept for the real thing.
And what's the biggest concept we get caught by? The most fundamental mistake?
According to Hagen, it's the separation between self and other.
Thinking, I am in here.
And the world is out there, separate, distinct.
And then we spend our lives trying to get things from out there to make the in here feel good or safe.
Precisely. But Hagen insists if you actually look closely, really investigate your experience, you can't find that solid line. Where does you stop and the world begin?
That's a radical thought.
It is. He suggests that it's actually consciousness itself that divides reality, or seems to.
Like the ink blot picture again.
Exactly. At first, it's just what it is, ink on paper. Then consciousness interprets, divides, and sees a cow.
So for someone who's awake, it's the other way around.
Kind of. They first see or experience the seamless whole, and then consciousness breaks it down into concepts.
Yeah.
Cow, tree, past, future, me, you.
Wow. Okay, so if that's true, what does that mean for my sense of me, myself?
This is where it gets really profound. Hagen presents the insight that there is no abiding self.
No permanent solid me inside.
Nope. We think of ourselves as this continuous, unchanging entity, but he says we're more like a flowing stream, not a solid cork.
Constantly changing.
Constantly changing. Like the book itself, it looks solid, but it's just molecules in rapid motion, constantly interacting, changing. There's experience happening.
But no separate experiencer standing apart from the experience.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Experiences. And our deep craving for a permanent self in a world that's constantly changing, that's a huge source of our suffering, our dukkha.
Okay. This ties into another key concept, doesn't it? Dependent arising.
Absolutely. It's central, the Buddhist formula. When this arises, that becomes...
Everything is connected. Everything affects everything else.
Yes, it shows how all phenomena are interconnected. A seamless whole, a web of causes and conditions. Hagen uses the 12-fold chain to explain it.
How does that work?
It shows how our fundamental ignorance, that basic misperception of self and reality, isn't just passive. It actively kicks off a chain reaction. Ignorance leads to dispositions or tendencies, which shape our consciousness, which leads to mind-body formation, senses.contact, feeling, craving, clinging,
Okay.
becoming, birth. And finally, aging and death, the whole mass of suffering.
Wow, that's quite a chain.
It is, but the crucial point is it works in reverse, too. If you cease the ignorance, if you wake up to reality,
The whole chain unravels.
the whole chain of suffering ceases. It shows you exactly how we create our own distress step by step, and therefore how we can step out of it.
And Hagen stresses this isn't just some abstract philosophy.
Not at all. He says it's very practical and down to earth.
Something you can see for yourself.
By paying attention, by looking closely at your actual moment-to-moment experience, ultimate truth, he insists, isn't an idea you grasp with your mind.
It's something you see.
Directly.
Right.
And it's always available, always right here, right now. Outro.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive into Buddhism, plain and simple. What's the main takeaway for you listening right now?
Well, it seems Hagen's core point is that so much of our suffering, our unease, comes from not seeing things as they actually are.
From our ignorance and from our relentless craving for things to be different than they are.
Yeah, wanting things to stop changing, wanting a permanent self, wanting to control everything.
Yeah.
That constant mental leaning and grasping.
So freedom isn't found by getting more stuff or forcing life into the shape we want.
No, it's not about finding the right answer or belief system either. It's about cultivating right view.
Simply seeing what is.
Yeah, without adding all our layers of interpretation and desire on top.
And realizing maybe you're already okay, already complete.
That seems to be a key part of it, that enlightenment isn't something you get, it's recognizing what's already here. The path is simply to awaken here and now.
By paying attention, being present.
And seeing that the prison isn't out there, it's the one we build in our own minds with our concepts and cravings.
When the mind stops that leaning and grasping, Hagen calls it the whole mind.
Free, open, just seeing.
So here's a question for you to think about, based on all this.
Yeah.
If knowledge is most valuable when you actually understand and apply it, and if this ultimate truth Hagen talks about can't be grasped by thought, only seen directly,
Uh-huh.
what immediate experience in your life right now might you be ignoring or filtering because you're too busy thinking about it instead of simply seeing it?
That's a great question to sit with.
What really stood out to you from our conversation today? Maybe it's that idea of impermanence. How might truly accepting that change your relationship to the things you love or even the things you fear?
Yeah, lots to mull over.
It's definitely a provocative thought. The possibility of freedom from suffering, right here, just by learning how to see.